So, I'm going to talk about what it was like for me when I was 16 years old to buy my computer that was like worth $3,000 and could do anything I wanted it to. Around the time of April, me and my grandmother had gone up to Atlanta, Georgia, and basically, I was doing graphic design on my laptops I had had. I was doing everything I could on them. They just weren't cutting it. Like, I was trying to do Cinema 4D and After Effects on my computer, and I'm just like, this ain't doing it. I need a desktop. I need to be, like, more serious about it. Get out there, do it. Like, go all in, like no stops, just everything. It was more or less like it had gotten to a point of like 3 or 4 months leading up to this event. It was just crazy, like just trying to do work, try to do things I'm passionate about, learning about Cinema 4D, After Effects, doing what I can. And from that, it evolved into me. It was getting around close to the point of April, and so when it's April, it's my birthday, so I'm like, okay, cool. And then we were all of a sudden planning a trip to go to Atlanta, and I'm like, is this really happening? Like, all that type of stuff. So if you didn't know it, I live in Florida, and so driving to Atlanta isn't too difficult. You can just about do it in a day. My grandmother got really sophisticated with the car that we had, and with that, we had like a Buick Park Avenue. And she could okay, I'm going to be mathematical about this. And, she just set the car on cruise control, went on the highway, drove at night, and just 50, 65 miles an hour all the way there. Just everything, fuel efficient, just everything. Like the perfect time when you kind of find that perfect curve for your car and the aerodynamics, and kind of finding out what it's worth to drive up there. And so it worked out really well, and we kind of basically spent about 2 weeks up there, if I'm not mistaken, about 2 weeks. And through that, of us spending 2 or 3 weeks up there, I basically spent my birthday up there, which was pretty cool. I don't remember exactly why we went up there, but there was something of some other important event, and we had been planning this whole okay, let's go buy a computer thing. And at the time, which is even more funny, through Linus Tech Tips and NetLinked, or not NetLinked, NCIX or whatever, I was looking through their websites. What a kid would do, use PC Part Picker. You kind of find what you want to build or whatever. You may be able to want to build it. You may figure out what you do and whatever. I'd already ordered 1 or 2 parts off Amazon, and that was cool. And so from there, what we basically did was, once we got to Atlanta and we'd gotten the parts we had gotten and whatever and everything for our stuff, we were like, okay, let's just be in Atlanta. It's super cool, it's amazing. So once we got to Atlanta, it was just more of all of a surprise of hey, let's go have fun. Let's go shop for the computer. And I'm like, yay, and all that type of shit. I didn't know what to expect. I'm like, what's this place gonna be like? And so for what it is, I had heard of these stores that you can just walk into them and build a computer, something like Fry's Electronics, that type of stuff. And Fry's Electronics was one of those types of stores that started in California. It was like a grocery store, and through it being a grocery store, it had a electronics department. And so eventually it got to the point of electronics just fully just outgrowing it and just taking it over, and it just being Fry's computers basically. And so grandmother's sister had her own custom built Fry's computer that was really good and ran Windows XP flawlessly. Pretty expensive build, just killer, kick-ass stuff. Tempered, I think it had like tempered panel, glass type setup. It was really cool. It was just a killer computer for what it was. Every single side of the computer, it had like tempered glass. It had that metal like bar through the glass type look. It looked really nice. And so we were trying to find the particular resource of, where do you go to like build computers? And so, funny enough, we were like driving down one of the roads and we were like, ooh, Micro Center, what's that? And so, through Micro Center, we went into the store and sure enough, oh my god, it is computer heaven. Like, you will never go to Best Buy ever again. Best Buy, irrelevant. Best Buy is a scam. Geek Squad, frick all that shit. That shit is irrelevant. And then when it came down to it, it's like Micro Center, like everything, like motherboards, graphics cards, cases, power supplies, liquid coolers for computers, like CPUs and everything, CPUs, SSDs, like laptops, like peripherals, like just everything you ever wanted computers, like even stuff you could find on Amazon, like all that shit. Oh, do you like Razer? Do you like MSI? Do you like Corsair stuff? That type of stuff. It may be super expensive and like, crazy mad expensive for it being like $100, $200 or whatever. That's crazy. Get this. You can get like Razer products for like $50. Like, no shit. Like, I cannot believe it. And I almost thought it was a dream. I almost want to go back again and look at the Razer products to be like, are you kidding me? I mean, that was like a couple of years ago. We're talking about like 4 or 5 years ago, obviously. We're not talking to like currently, I don't know fully. I wish they had a Micro Center in Florida. If they did, it would be perfect. Oh my god, it was so cool. The even better thing that even did the cake in on everything was that there was a sales guy named How, which is just funny word. It's not spelled like how. It is spelled like HAOLY is his name. It's like the shortest name and shortest last name ever. It's just hilarious. It's all good. And he was just the best. I swear to God. He was like the nicest, kindest Asian person ever. Knew everything. He was like, all he said was like, what's your purpose? How much money are you willing to spend? That was it. That's all it came down to. And I said, I'm doing 3D video effects, motion graphics. Like, I told him that's basically what I did. And he's like, okay, start off 2 GTX 980s Strix cards. And I'm like, yay, I love the owl. I love the 2 graphics, the little 2 fans, like the eyes, and the little eyes spin around. And it's like so cool, man. It's like so cool. Like, they're not like the new GTX 1080 cooler where they just completely like, okay, now it's like 3 fans, and it's like, now what do you do? It's like 2 fans, just 2 giant big fans. That's my phone going off. Just 2 big giant fans. It's all really cool and everything. It's just such a killer look for the GTX 980 Strix card. It looks so cool. The box looked dope. Just everything, like every component was just so cool. It was so awesome. I just love looking at the hardware. It was so cool. And so I even bought my case in store, and then after I bought it in the store, a year or 2 later I went and replaced it. with a different upgrade because I had the Cooler Master Pro 5 and I wanted the case lighting. I thought the case lighting would have been RGB, but it was like just red, which is so silly. But man, they just had everything. The whole experience was so cool. I even got down to the point where it was like you be checking out, you're gonna be there for a while. There's just every part, like every freaking part, like the power supply, the everything that's needed, like just everything, the RAM, the CPU, the just every single part. I swear to you, man, it was crazy. It's just the service at Micro Center, like it's so cool. That place just makes me feel like I just want to work there. Like, I swear to God, I would be coming home every night, spending all my paychecks, everything, all on Micro Center. It's so cool for what it is. Like, there's so much to it. It's really hard to describe Micro Center because basically my expression, all I'd ever done was all I'd ever done was just go to Best Buy, because you think, okay, electronics store. Yeah, no. You got a new kid on the block, Micro Center, but they're kind of rare. They're really hard to find. Yeah, that's kind of what it's like, basically, and how it is for what it is, because, when it comes down to Micro Center and what it is and how it is, they're the best. I just love everything. I love the environment. I love everything they got there. They even had monitors, they had a keyboard, they had a mice. Dude, they got like everything. It's like Amazon, but just for computer parts and everything. They did have pre-built like laptops and simple stuff, but I think I had a really good experience because they were even offering an additional cost of like, oh hey, yeah, we'll build your computer for you and everything too if needed. And I was cool with that thought of it, but then again, I'm like, fuck this. You only get an experience of this once in a lifetime. And so what we did was just take the parts home, and I literally went ape shit just building everything. When I finished the whole thing, it turned on fine. I had my little USB window stick and kaboom, and I was just set after that. And it just was like an amazing experience. And yeah, that's really what it comes down to. There was just so much like energy of like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and like everybody else too is just like, whoa, what the fuck? You don't see this normally every day. A 16-year-old getting some crazy ass like setup. Like, what the fuck does he do? I want his number. It was so funny and crazy. It's just like everybody in the store at the checkout line, they didn't care about their day. They were more focused on me. And they're like, whoa, what the fuck? He's like so fucking lucky to get that shit. Like, oh yeah, that's so dope and everything. And it just like, it was so crazy. It was just such a fun moment, and I remember it so well. It's just so amazing. Like, the build for my whole desktop, it came out to like $2,000. It was $500 tax, but now over time, since I've had the computer, I've added more RAM and I've added more graphics cards, more hard drives, and that's where I kind of get the estimate of my 3,000, because I've gone from having two GTX 980s to then having, from that, I went from having the GTX 980s to 980 Ti's to then, GTX 1080s, and I wanted 2 GTX 1080 Ti's, but then I couldn't just get 2 because they only had 1 in stock, and they had 4 in stock of the GTX 1080s and everything. And I'm not just buying normal GTX 1080s, I am buying the Republic of Gamers, I'm buying the overclock editions, I'm buying like top tier shit. It was so fun just to be able to just walk into a store, be like, upgrade. It was so just everything. It was such a fun experience. I just love sharing stuff like that. It was a really happy time. I felt pretty good with it.